So he was coaching, and we didn't tell anybody at first except the immediate family. But then we felt like he was forgetting things like how to put grades on the computer, forgetting some of his student names.
I was getting on the wrong bus that night, right after I found out I had Alzheimer's. They were all over the place, like a horse coach ball. And I got on a certain bus, but it was wrong. I was on the Waynesboro bus. And they said, "Hey, we got him." And they were all patting me on the back. Some of them hugged me and stuff. It really made me feel good.
About 7 years ago, and I just, it was a situation with both my wife Linda and my son. They were talking, there was something that was happening that I didn't recall what it was, and I was way off base by it. And they both, my son and my wife, decided that there might be something wrong. Maybe we need to check on it.
There are so many people who don't understand how devastating Alzheimer's can be. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't understand until someone they love is diagnosed. And there's so much you can do that can help either slow the progression once you're diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And I just think the more awareness people have about the disease, the more support we can get, and the better people will understand what they can do if someone they love is diagnosed.
For 5.5 million Americans dealing with Alzheimer's disease, and a new American every 69 seconds, you have another 15 to 25 million Americans who are dealing with Alzheimer's disease from the caregiver's seat. So literally, 30 to 40 million Americans are personally impacted by Alzheimer's disease. They need services. They need education. They not only need it, more and more, they demand it. And that's what the association is also going to have a focus on as we move towards the day of a world without Alzheimer's disease.
It's okay to talk about Alzheimer's, that it's not something that's to be embarrassed about, focusing more research attention on the disease and hopefully finding a cure.
Because that's not an embarrassment for me, and the fact that if people can listen to what I'm saying and even get just a smattering of it, and somehow it impacts them, then I feel like I've helped somewhere along the line.
I was awakened at 3 o'clock in the morning with her standing outside my door with her pajamas on. She had walked from her house to my house, which is probably a little over half a mile in the dark. And she had no idea that it was nighttime. She didn't know that anything was wrong.
On a cold February night, my mom wandered out of her apartment. She was out in the middle of the night for about 3 hours before someone let her into her home. At that point, I didn't know what to do. As I'm going through 1,000 ideas of what I've got to do, I called that 800 number, and I spoke to a licensed counselor for about 2 hours.
The folks that are working with the Alzheimer's Association trying to create this cure are spending a great deal of time providing information as best they can, and it's helpful. People in their 30s, 40s, and 50s are getting Alzheimer's too. I have a 7-year-old boy and a 3-year-old daughter, and one of my greatest fears is not knowing who they are as they become adults. So this is something that people my age are starting to think about as we get older, but the critical component is people my age are getting it.
We have had great hope accompanied by disappointment, in part because we weren't realistic about the fact that no one has ever tried to tame a disease like Alzheimer's disease before. But in the 20 years that we have really put laser focus on this disease around the world in laboratories, we have made astounding progress, and we really do have reason to hope.
She had 9 beautiful children and 19 grandchildren that called her Pit Pat, and she died not knowing any of them, not knowing anything about her life, herself, She spent most of the time, the last few months of her life, with her eyes closed and crying for her mommy, crying angrily, not able to form words. And like your child, when your child has a nightmare, you can cuddle your child and you can put your arms around them and you can make them know that things are going to get better. You can't do that with someone with Alzheimer's disease.
She's my angel, you know, and she does take care of me. I mean, even this afternoon, I was at home, and I can't quite remember, but I went back to the senior center because she was there, because I couldn't remember something as simple as what was it?
Oh, you were going to shave.
I was going to shave. Oh yeah, I did. And I said there was something that I was supposed to do, and I could not remember what it was. And you know, she said you were going to shave.